Hi, I'm Clinton Porter with Keller Williams Realty and Team Colorado Vistas, and I've been a Denver area agent for almost 14 years. And then prior to that, I was a mortgage banker for about 3 years. Wanted just to give you this little bit of a video to explain what it means by appraisal gap. So when you've got a situation, you've got very low inventory, but you've got lots and lots of home buyers that are out buying or looking to buy homes. It creates a very large bidding type of situation where people place their offers or place their bids, if you will, on that particular house. Now, it's an offer that you're making, but you've got to make yourself competitive in order to be able to capture that home seller's attention. A lot of times right now, real estate agents like me are pricing things right, or they're pricing it just a little bit below what is market price. Now, market price is what things have been selling for in the community, the surrounding community, over the past 6 months for a home of a similar square footage, similar location, similar amenities, okay? So that's what we consider market price. So when we price it a little bit lower or right at market price, we understand that that's about what is a safe, appraised, a broker price opinion value for that particular home, because we're looking at past data over the past 6 months. So we come up with that price and we say, okay, well, this is about what an appraiser, if they were to do an independent appraisal on the property, this is about what that property value would be, because I'm looking at the past 6 months of data on a home that's very similar to this particular home, okay? And that's how we get price. An appraiser will come along and they'll just determine, based on what offer we receive, if that offer price is correct with the market. Now, if we've done our good job about real estate agents and we priced it right, because we're in such a feeding frenzy type of market where there's lots and lots of home buyers, but there's very, very low inventory, we have a situation where people begin to bid up that price. And they bid higher than either our price or market value, okay? So that means that once that appraisal is actually done, if you're buying the home with a mortgage, and that mortgage company is requiring an appraisal, once that appraisal is actually done, that appraiser is going to look at it and say, okay, just like me as an agent, they're going to look at the past 6 months of data. They're going to look within about a half-mile radius. They're going to look at the community, and they're going to look for other homes that are similar in square footage or similar in amenities, and then be able to determine about what the appraised value is for that particular home. In our market today, because you've got low inventory, lots of home buyers, lots of offers that tend to stack up, and they increase that price and the price that home is going to sell. What we tell you as an agent selling a home is, we tell you, okay, if you're going to make an offer and it's going to be well above our asking price, what we consider well above our market price, let's say by 10 or 15 or 20 or sometimes $50,000 or $100,000, well above what the rest of the market has sold for in that particular community, we have a difference of market value and what your offer price is at, okay? It's a pretty big difference, right? And when an appraisal takes place and that appraiser comes out and they determine what the value is, they may be a little bit more than our market value, not much, maybe $2,000, maybe $3,000 or $5,000. They could even be a little bit less than where our list price was. We're not sure. We don't have a barometer on whether or not that agent is going to see things the way that we saw them whenever we listed it. But what we do know is that from their now appraised value, and I'm talking about, it costs anywhere from about $650 up to, I've heard up to almost $2,000 for an appraisal these days. When that appraisal comes in and the appraiser says, okay, you know what, Clinton, your home, you priced it exactly right. It's right there and you priced it at market value. This is my appraisal and it's here. Meanwhile, the offer that we accepted is way up here. We have this appraisal gap, because all of a sudden, the amount of money you said you'd buy the home that you went under contract with that home seller is up here. The appraisal came in here. We have a gap. We have a gap, and sometimes this is literally tens of thousands of dollars. In a lot of cases, on homes around like $500,000, this could be a gap of somewhere about anywhere from $5,000 to maybe $20,000 or $25,000, okay? But that's a lot of money. Whenever you first submitted your offer to the home seller, you said to the home seller, I want to buy your home and I know it's priced at $400,000, but I'm willing to go ahead and offer you $425,000 or $430,000. Let's call it $430,000. Well, if an appraiser comes in, your appraiser comes in and says, you know what, that home, you may have offered $430,000, but that home that was priced at $400,000, it's only worth $420,000. So we have a $10,000 gap. Okay? So that $10,000 gap, what typically takes place is that if you don't have something in your offer that says how we're going to negotiate or how we're going to handle that gap, if you don't have that in your offer, well, then it's got to go back to negotiation. And it's you, the buyer, renegotiating with the home sellers to say, hey, you need to come down in price because I know I said $430,000, but it's only worth $420,000 and you need to come down $10,000. Well, the seller says, well, wait a second, you offered $430,000. You need to come up to $430,000. You need to bring in the extra cash. It becomes this whole negotiating nightmare. So the way that we handle this nightmare, hopefully, is to do it up front. Whenever you place your offer, put your offer in at the highest, the most amount that you feel is comfortable and that wins you that offer. Okay? You want to win the home? You want to beat out the other 7 or 8 different offers? Great. Make it so that you've got an appraisal gap coverage in there. Just say, if the appraised value is way down here and our offer price is way up here, let's say at $430,000, I'm willing to come up with the extra $10,000. To a home seller, that's a big deal. That's a really big deal. It means that you're serious about buying their home. You've got a good down payment. You're willing to pay for closing costs because here in Colorado, you're having to pay for closing costs, and you're willing to pay for your own inspection, your own appraisal. And if there's a gap between what your offer price is and what your appraisal comes in at, you're willing to take care of that coverage, that gap. So on my homes, in fact, one I'm working on right now, we have a total of 8 different offers. Okay? And those 8 different offers, some of them have appraisal gap coverage, where they've literally told me and my home sellers, look, I know that we're offering you $20,000 more than where you listed it at. I know that it might only appraise at your market value, your listing price. We understand that it might only appraise there. We're willing to give you $20,000 more. And of that $20,000, if our appraisal comes in and it's just right at what you had it marketed at, we're willing to pay the extra money. That's one of the ways that home buyers are able to win homes these days. And I'm going to have lots of dissenters. I'm going to have lots of people who say that when you do that, you're causing the market to I'm going to tell you right now that it's a law of economics. So it's the law of supply and demand. When you have high demand and you have low supply, it always increases price. That is a law of economics. So in this case, we have situations where not a lot of inventory, a whole lot of home buyers, and so a whole lot of people trying to get the same little piece of the pie. So in this case, they offer more money. But I tell my home buyers that if you do and you offer more money, then you better back it up with some type of an appraisal gap, because even though you're offering a lot more money, an appraiser may not see things the way that you see them or the way that I see them about what a wonderful home it is. They're going to look at the past 6 months of data. They're going to look inside the community. They may take a couple of comparables outside the community, but they're going to look for, as best as they can, apples to apples, of what that home represents as far as the value is concerned, and to look at what past sales are like, what a little bit about what the future is going to be like with all the demand. But they're giving their as best as bulletproof presentation of what that value is. And if that value is here and your offer price is here, appraisal gap. Hope that makes sense. Give me a call if you need any help. I'm Clinton Porter, Keller Williams Realty, Team Colorado Vistas, 720-876-8544.